talk about being under pressure. And how it changes your sort of outlook, right? And you know what I think the thing is, when you feel like that, is to actually just, like so often when I'm giving a class, I've got like 20 people in front of me that I don't really know, and they don't really know me. And the best antidote, because the reality is that if you're not sort of connected to what you want to do or what you want to say, it's very difficult to get your message across or to do a good job.
Yeah, totally.
And so I always start all my classes with like a mindful moment. Did you know that?
No.
So I always start my classes with just 2-3 minutes of mindfulness. And I think I do it as much for myself as I do it for the clients. So I just, listen, I'm standing in front of this group of 20 people. And I introduce myself, and then I say, okay, we start with a little moment of mindfulness, and we do a warm up, and that's the best thing for me, because then it's I connect with my body, and I'm in the present moment, and then I can teach, and I teach much better when I'm just connected with what I want to say and connected with my body. Whereas if I'm worrying about what do these people think of me, or what are they thinking, or do they like the class, then you're going to give a shit class.
Yeah. And so what do you do? What's the exercise like?
I make them close their eyes, and then I make them just feel their feet on the floor, and I make them
notice going into your body.
Skin. Yeah, notice the sensations that they feel in their skin. Notice what they hear around them. Notice what's notice their breathing. So we just do a few belly breaths. And then it's noticing what's present for you. So in terms of your thoughts, your moods, so just being aware of what's present for you. And, sometimes people come to a class and they've had a fight with their husband that morning, or they've, whatever, they're exhausted, or they got stress at work, or, and those things, they take you out of your body. They take you out of your present experience. So to just bring people back to that. And then we, it's literally 2 minutes, and then we start class. But I'm sure, and especially because it's Pilates-based stuff, I'm sure that people, I'm sure that their bodies function better. We do.
Yeah.
But I think their bodies function better, and they can be more in tune with their bodies, which is super important if you're doing something like core work, because it's all about your body and your mind connection.
So I've been doing a lot of listening to Joe Hudson, right? And he essentially, most of the stuff and most of the interventions are around just going into your body and feeling and feeling it at the moment. So actually today when I was driving, I was listening to a very interesting one around. It was
Did you watch this, by the way?
No, I did not use it actually.
Oh, you didn't use it? Okay.
No, I just took it out because I was looking for the other one, the big one. So it was this one lady who was actually working as I think mental health coach or something like that for 20 years. So lots of experience with that. Yeah. But she felt she's stuck in her life. It doesn't progress as much as she wanted to, right? Yeah. And she was a super high achiever, was best of class, and it's now I'm doing this for 20 years. I would love to do more, but I'm not doing it, right? Yeah. And I know I could do more, but I'm just not doing it. There's something that's blocking me.
Her,
And it was it's one of those little intervention things, which was actually quite interesting because he started out by letting her feel what she feels I feel like I should do more. I should be the overachiever, and I know that I can do more, but I'm just not doing it. And then he started the whole thing letting her feel that, and then he said, so the truth is, you're never going to be the best again, right? Because if you think about it, what I'm doing, what you are doing, there's always going to be someone who's better than you, right? Okay, there's always going to be someone who's going to do a better job and who knows more and who whatever. So you not forget about being the best. That those times are over, right? You were maybe the best in your class, but you're not anymore, and you will never be again, right? And then how does that make you feel, right? And she was you could see that she was
It made her feel horrible.
It made her feel horrible, but then okay, so then take that feeling and then
sit with it.
Sit with it, right? Sit with it, and it's like open your heart to that feeling. Right? Essentially, the whole intervention
like self-compassion, right?
was around
feeling,
like no, not even self-compassion in a sense. Like, don't go into the victim role.
Yeah.
There was one part like let the anger out. So what? How does it make you feel? Like, it makes me angry. Like, okay, let that out. And what does it make you angry about? And then it was like a lot about let it sit and just embrace the feeling of no, you're not going to be the best.
Yeah.
So what is it like? So what? Like it's just embrace that kind of that panic that you're getting about, because it's like
what's so bad about
what's
that?
Bad
right?
and why is this and then they went into kind of an interesting rabbit hole around this must be from some sort of childhood trauma about being the best and trying to achieve the best and whatever.
Getting some kind of love or affirmation.
Exactly.
Or whatever,
only getting the affirmation and only getting the love.
If you're the best.
If you're the best, if you try to be the best, right? And it's like, it's like the thing is like none of us will be the best in anything. There's always going to be someone who's going to be better than you somewhere, and it's not what makes you lovable. It's not what gives you the.
Not what validates you.
What validates you, right? And so that was so interesting, because it comes back to what you just said, getting into your body.
But you have to have self-compassion when you're in that. I think the self-compassion element is like super, super, super important, because to just accept it. So self-compassion is also like self-acceptance, right? It's like sitting in that feeling and not fighting it, and not telling yourself you shouldn't feel like that, or not telling yourself you're wrong or whatever. So like, I think if you can bring an element of self-compassion, I think it's super helpful in that moment. I'm not saying that you focus on the self-compassion. I'm just saying that in that moment, where you find yourself, what do you want to do?
To just keep it warm is.
I just put on hot air. So like, in that moment where you feeling like you're such a loser, or feeling like you pathetic, or feeling like you don't deserve love, or whatever, like.
Oh shit, we need to cook too.
But that'll take 5 minutes.
We're gonna need 3 plus.
No, there's someone in the steamer.
But then we're gonna use steamer to keep it warm, the chicken warm.
But then we'll boil them for 5 minutes. Don't worry, it's just a tiny pot, just for us.
Okay.
Kids don't eat beans. What kids eat beans? Or we can do the beans and keep them warm. But then they're gonna get soggy. We'll just do them for 5 minutes in a pot.
Okay.
In a pan.
Okay.
In a pot. My love. So I think there's this actually South African psychologist. I think her name is Susan David, and she talks about. That's a ladybug.
Ladybug. Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called? Susan?
Oh, Susan.
Oh no! Oh, poor guy. Where did he go?
Oh.
I flew away. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Okay. So Susan, I think her name is Susan David, and she's a clinical psychologist, and she talks about toxic positivity.
Okay.
So this whole toxic positivity is this very kind of American way of like basically trying to sugarcoat everything, and like trying to say that like you mustn't experience negative emotions, and you mustn't dwell on the negative emotions. You must just kind of like push them aside, focus on the positives, be grateful, all this fucking bullshit, right? And she's like, you can't truly be grateful, or truly be compassionate to yourself, or truly like live a fulfilled life if you are not willing to sit in the toxic, horrible sadness, anger, all the negative emotions, or what we deem as negative emotions. So she basically says like it's so important to be able to just sit with those negative feelings, and if you can sit with them, and you can, she says it's like a dark tunnel, right? You've like the only way out is through, is what she said. I think she said that. Anyway, so she talks about how like you've got to move through negative emotions. Like there's no avoiding them. If you try and avoid them, if you try and like suppress them, they come out in other ways. So like she's just saying like you have to. I think this was the best goal.
Good enough.
Yeah, I think so. For the two of us. Oh, you know what we can do? We can.
Yeah.
few more, because some of the kids might actually like
Yes.
it.
So you have to sit with the negative emotions?
Yeah, so you have to sit with the negative emotions and just allow your body to feel them and to like feel them in your body, I think. Like I think we're so bad in Western cultures in like at feeling emotions in our body. Like most people, like they imagine that their brain and their body or their emotions and their, like people imagine that their head is where the emotions sit.
Mm-hmm. But the head is all the body, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is that emotion sits in your body. Like emotion doesn't sit in your head, right? So like emotions typically sit in your body. It's like you talk about a gut instinct, or it was heartwarming, or it was like, oh, gave me butterflies in my tummy, or whatever. So like those are bodily sensations, and yet we're so disconnected from our body. So we're so disconnected from our emotions. And so she talked, and I mean, I think most people don't know how to feel stuff in their bodies.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing to dealing with negative emotions is that you've got to be able to start to sense it in your body. So that's where I talk about the mindfulness and how you've got to be in your body in order to be present and to, like I think it's the first step to any of these things.
And there was an interesting thing in that intervention where he said like it's such a typical thing is you start feeling these emotions, like you start feeling that, that kind of that,
like that constriction,
the constriction that like this fist in your chest, right, where you say like, it's like this is
and you just want to avoid
horrible,
it.
and then you run away from it.
Oh, of course,
because like that's a natural reaction to then just to avoid that feeling.
Yeah.
But then you essentially become trapped because you're not addressing it. You're not sinking into it. You're not feeding into it, right?
Oh, totally. And then we drink, we eat, we whatever, take drugs, look for sex, whatever, so you look for external things to dampen that awful feeling that's inside you, and I think that's why we sit with all the issues that we sit with, because we don't know how to sit with negative emotions. And you think about it as a child, it's like, it's like something awful happens, and what are you told? Oh, it's not that bad, suck it up, stop whining, stop crying, it's okay, it's not that bad. Instead of a parent just saying to you, yeah, it sucks. It sucks that your favorite toy car got squished by whatever. You know what I mean? Like if somebody just said to you, yes, it sucks. Yes, it's horrible. I'm sorry. Or not even I'm sorry, but just like, yes, it sucks.
Like deal with it, yeah.
Yeah. Instead you're told, deal with it. Instead you're told, suck it up, don't cry. Why are you whining? It's not such a big deal. So like those feelings and that negativity is not addressed.
In
half an hour at least.
Half an hour.
Okay.
We have salt. Yeah.
Here or here?
I can use it for there.
I know, so just use that. Otherwise I've got, wait. Yeah, that salt's fine.
No, that's fine, but just we need more.
Then we have to use ground salt, or I can just find some.
You can't open that one? You can't open these. I think
it's okay, I'm just going to grind it and put it in. Just with a bit of patience. How much do you need?
I don't think it's going to do much, but okay, let's see. Thank you.
So I mean, I think a lot of this also comes from our childhood, and then, so you're told that there's negative emotions, that you're not allowed to feel them, or you must just get over it, or so I think even as children, a lot of children aren't given the opportunity to sit with a negative emotion and move through it and work through it. So like all of this stuff just gets suppressed, and then it comes out in other ways, right? So it's whether it's like passive aggression or all of that stuff.
But that's also one of the main issues that you see with. It's a generalization, but I think it's true. Kids these days, where it's this overprotection around, you're not. Oh, there's no keep all the negative feelings, the negative experiences away from the kids because they need to be protected, need to be sheltered. And then you end up with people who never learned to deal with this situation, to deal with their emotions, to deal with their state or the negative stuff that's just happening in life, right? Which is the reality. And then you have
And so
grown up people with major issues, right?
Yeah, because they don't learn resilience, right? So they also don't learn to experience the disappointment or experience the failure or experience the heartache or and then when it does come, which it inevitably does, because it always does, then it's I think they don't have a lifetime of like experiences to fall back on and kind of go, okay, like this is kind of familiar, right? So this is like something that I know. But I also just think we as a society, like I think we also just numb everything with dopamine, right? So like I think social media, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't have no idea how many people are here, but actually. How many of us are there? How many did you say there are?
Oh, 4?
Did you say 4?
I think
she said 5. So 5.
And us 7.
Let me just go
8.
count. Let me just go and ask.
You have another phone somewhere.
Another phone?
Yes.
Okay, but now I can't remember what we were talking about.
Going into your body, and then the
media.
kids not just being kept away from from the negative emotions and from the negative. Having that experience of being able to go into these negative emotions and just experiencing them and then just dealing with them.
Yeah.
Right. In a way, similar to what you told me yesterday about when my girls were fighting and they. Like, what do you do, right? Like, do you intervene and just like play happy little negotiator, or do you just say, okay, look, go fucking close the door and figure it out yourself, right?
And I honestly don't know what the answer is, because like it just like it's like on the one hand I do think that like kids learn to I think the benefit of having siblings is that you learn to deal with conflict. I think you're less scared of conflict, whereas and you learn that actually things can be resolved through conflict, right? So like you can just have a full-on fucking fight, even if it gets physical, or you can, scream at each other, shout at each other, and the reality is that family still actually love you, right? So like they're still around, even if you have a big fight. Where's the butter?
No, we have butter.
We do have butter.
Otherwise,
here it is.
You need cream?
Cream, like heavy cream or
heavy
just
cream.
Normal cream? And I've just got sour cream. Is that fine?
No.
Well, then I know that.
You need heavy cream.
I don't have.
That's fine. You have heavy cream. That's fine.
Does Philadelphia count as heavy cream?
No, that's heavy cream.
I think no. I think what she was talking about is like a double thick cream. Like what she had was more like sour cream.
That's gonna be sour.
This isn't so sour, my love.
Sure.
No, it's totally fine. Like I think this is a better consistency than that, because that's super thin, right? It's more like a thick. It'll be delicious. With the parmesan and stuff, it'll be totally delicious. It's almost like a cheat. I've made like a cheat carbonara with this. It's delicious.
Okay.
My love, should I put the drumsticks in?
Yes. I wonder how the quality will be with the.
Where's my? Oh, I can't use my phone.
You can use your phone now.
What were you gonna say now?
For what do you need? What do you need the phone for?
I wanted to take a photo to send to your mom.
Aha. No. Yeah.
20 minutes? 25?
25. I think.
I mean, I'll just put it on for 30.
Yeah.
25.
25.
So yeah, I think when it comes to kids and siblings, like I don't know, like sometimes I think that they're so horrible and so mean to each other. Like I just think it's awful. And I think that they, like in a way that, kids also see every weakness, they see every bad thing about their sibling, like that's what family is, right? So it's like not this kind of ideal presentation that you can give to the world, right? So your sibling sees everything that's bad about you, and and they're gonna give you a fucking hard time about it. But I think at the same time, it also makes you acknowledge your own flaws and your own, and also stick up for yourself. Like I think as a if you've got siblings, like you have to learn to stick up for yourself, and you have to learn to fight for yourself.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not all bad.
No, it's actually. I think that's what this generation is kind of
Maybe lacking.
lacking or losing, right?
Okay, I'm gonna keep this one.
Yes.
I was gonna give it back to you, but I'm
No,
gonna
you
keep
can
it.
keep it. Keep it. But ultimately, it would be yet another camera we can film like what's going into the pan. You know what would be kind of nice? Like if we just do the stuff and then talk about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And just show a little bit, like not
Yeah.
like a full-on cooking thingy.
Yeah.
But just show like, okay, putting the stuff in the pan, like just showing, chopping the whatever.
Do you need another phone?
Well, I have another camera upstairs, but the next time. Like, if
Do you have another camera upstairs?
I do.
But I also think, actually, in a way, like this generation, I think on the one hand they've been overprotected, yes, but they have been allowed to. I think a lot of them have been allowed to express negative emotions. You know, they have been allowed to.
Have or have not?
No, I think they have. I think they. I don't know. Maybe it's just people that I know, but I think that there's a lot more understanding about emotional intelligence and kids being allowed to be who they are. I think maybe the problem is that they've kind of allowed it to go too far, and they've been allowed to make too many excuses for themselves. You know what I mean? So I don't know that I would say that this generation don't. You also can't generalize. I mean, there are a lot of kids that have a lot of trauma and a lot of like negative shit happen to them.
Yeah, not arguing against the trauma. It's more like it feels like this generation. There's a lot around avoidance of anything, right?
Yeah.
The whole wokeness
Oh yeah.
culture and whatnot. So
I mean, I think we all want to make generalizations about everybody and every generation and every thing, you know. Like I think,
oh, you put the salt in there?
Yes.
No.
Did that one already have salt?
That was plenty salty.
I thought you put salt in that one.
Yes, but that was because that was already salty. You might need to dilute this then or mix them. Right? It's fine.
You always say it needs more salt.
No, not this time. It has plenty of salt. This one has enough salt.
Okay, fine. Sorry. So, I think.
Alexa, entrance.
I think this generation is much more aware of their emotions. But maybe can't generalize.
Yeah. No.
Like with your kids? Do they? How would you say?
I think
do they know how to express emotion? Do they know what emotion they're feeling? Do you?
I think I could do a better job of teaching them.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I mean, what do you do if your kids are like upset, miserable, crying, whining, whatever? What do you do?
Yeah. Just try to ask them. Okay, what seems to be the problem, and what is it that you're feeling right now? So.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I say like I'm gonna. What's this or that?
Yeah.
Oh, delicious. Really good.
Good. Mm-hmm. Why have we never done chicken like that before?
I don't know. I think it's fine like that. Okay. We're gonna mix it all, or it's gonna be some pesky.
Yeah.
Say, no, I don't want pasta without anything.
No. They don't.
I'm not doing that.
Multiple choice. Yeah.
Okay, good.
They get served what they're served, and serve them the chicken drumsticks first. And then we eat the chicken.
Okay, that's fine.
Chicken first. Okay.
Yes.
Is that mean?
No, it's fine. Totally fine. Where's the lid?
And then they can clean up the kitchen.
Okay, so what did we make today? We made chicken strips in a smoked paprika and garlic marinade with chili.
And Parmesan cream parsley sauce.
With pasta.
With pasta. And beans
And
rice.
chicken drumsticks. With
For the kids.
chicken stuff.
Spices.
Paprika,
spices. I'm sure we can come up with a better name.
Yeah, okay.
Optimize the name a little bit.